This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
If you go out in the woods today, be sure for a big surprise. If you go out in the woods today, you better go in disguise. For every...
Hey guys, before we begin today's review, I need to give you all a minute to go grab your teddy bears to watch this review with you. Preferably, one like this, which has been with me ever since I was a little tiny Bob Show. I'll give you a minute. Everyone have their little friends? Good. Let's begin. My executive producers have decided that today's movie to review is The Bears Who Saved Christmas. To everyone who wanted me to do Trolls, don't worry, I'll be doing that one in December. Our movie opens over the river and through the woods where to grandmother's house a family goes. And tell me if this music sounds a little familiar. But with this kind of imagery, they really should be playing this music instead. They tell us that this is their first Christmas at Grandma's house, living all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. I guess Grandma must be a prepper. And the kids are worried that Santa may not be able to find them.
What if he can't find us?
Don't worry, kids. Santa will find us, no matter where we are.
Santa always gets his man. But the snow starts to pick up, and they're soon trapped in a snowbank.
This just in from the Weather Bureau. A severe storm warning is now in effect for the entire mountain region. All roads have been closed until further notice.
Oh, no. What about Grandma's?
What about Christmas?
Well, it'll be all right. We're safe here in the car.
We'll just sit tight until the blizzard stops.
The blizzard eventually does die down, and conveniently, there's a deserted cabin nearby for them to stay the night in. Mom and Dad assure the kids that this will still be the best Christmas ever, despite their situation, and not offering any kind of insight as to how it'll still be the best Christmas ever, but the kids are unconvinced. Sometime later, their teddy bears, Holly and Christopher, come to life. And to their confirmed dismay, it doesn't look like Christmas is coming.
It's terrible. I mean, kids need Christmas
Like teddy bears need hugging.
If this turns into a crossover with the Hug-a-Bunch.
Hugging! Christopher, we have to do something. How is this ever going to be the best Christmas ever?
I don't know. We're just a couple of teddy bears. What can we possibly do?
That's it!
What?
Susie and Tom don't have to miss Christmas after all. Look, there must be hundreds of trees out there. We'll bring them a Christmas tree.
And how exactly did you get the idea to get a Christmas tree by him pointing out that you're teddy bears? Before they set out to get a Christmas tree, they make friends with a talking flashlight named Flashy, and a compass not named Compy. I don't understand why a compass would have a name like Charlie and a flashlight would have a name like Flashy. And since these two are the only other living inanimate objects in the entire cabin, I also have no idea why they're the only ones. It's not Toy Story rules, where everything you play with comes to life because it's now a toy. It's not Brave Little Toaster rules, where everything is alive just because. What's going on here? And why these two things in particular? If these bears need to go out and get their own Christmas tree, why couldn't they make friends with a talking chainsaw or something? So they set out to look for a tree. Charlie points out that the best Christmas trees are at Blue Mountain Ridge. How would he know that? Then they sing a little song which also sounds really familiar.
Hurry up! Come on! Hurry up, come on, let's go! There's got to be that perfect tree out waiting in the snow.
Journey over, all is mended, and it's not just for today. And they reached the right conclusions.
And we got what we deserve.
Christmas is alive inside of...
Watch out!
What's that?
Something which should have ended your little song a lot more abruptly. Boo!
Bear trap!
What's a bear trap? Why would anyone want to trap us?
Not you. It's for real bears.
Real bears? You mean there are real bears out here?
They continue on their way and bump into a little beaver.
It's a little beaver.
Sorry. False alarm. I thought I had it that time. A very small little beaver.
As opposed to a very large little beaver.
I bet there's not a tree in this whole gigantic forest that can stand up to the mighty choppers of Bobby Bucktooth.
1. You were literally just introduced to us by your inability to chomp down this one tree that we've seen you attempt. And 2, Bobby Bucktooth. Ugh. He says that they don't need to worry about running into real bears, since real bears hibernate through the winter.
Bobby's right. We've got nothing to worry about.
Well, if Bobby's such an expert, ask him if he knows how to get to Blue Mountain Ridge.
Hey, I'm a reviewer, not a park ranger. Bobby Bucktooth leads them to Blue Mountain Ridge, but first they have to pass a nearby lake.
But how will we get across? We don't have a boat, and we definitely can't swim.
Well, I keep trying to tell you. It's winter.
Cue awkward skating sequence.
I wonder if it'll be a musical number.
So they skate for a bit instead of, doing something important. But then...
Hang on. I don't know how to swim yet.
Well, let's see. I can make a reference to Brent, Frosty the Snowman.
Wait. Why doesn't the beaver know how to swim?
Or I could reference that. What the hell? They manage to save him, thanks to their combined efforts of Flashy hovering in the air and Charlie somehow directing Holly where she should be grabbing, even though all he can see is up her skirt. And then Bobby Bucktooth's mother shows up.
Mama?
Yes, honey?
Did you see that cool wipeout? What did I tell you guys? Nothing to it.
If there's ever anything I can do for you, you just give old Mrs. Bucktooth a holler, you hear?
Why doesn't Mama Bucktooth sound like this? Or is Bobby a pack-a-day man?
So the Bucktooths, Buckteeth, go home, and the movie ends with, oh no, wait, it's still going. Anyway, the bears continue on their way, and we have another instance of the beskirted female lead up in front, giving her brother another view up her skirt. They finally make it to Blue Mountain Ridge, which, as promised, is bristling with nothing but perfect Christmas trees.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect, all right. But how are we ever gonna cut it down?
They can pull it out with their bare hands. I'll just get back to the review then, shall I? With no way of chopping the tree down, they decide to turn back to the cabin.
I just can't bear the thought of Susie and Tom waking up on Christmas morning with no Christmas tree.
But what if they wake up and find us gone?
I guess you're right.
After all, we were just teddy bears. We really don't belong out here.
Christopher, that's just it. We are teddy bears, right? And if it means comforting Susie and Tom, we do belong here. Because they can't miss Christmas.
She did it again! Simply saying, we're just teddy bears, is somehow enough to trigger Holly's creative thinking and problem-solving skills. That's a weird psychosis. Anyway, the power of we're just teddy bears inspires her to... do nothing, because Bobby Bucktooth somehow shows up from out of nowhere and cuts the tree down himself. Way to think outside the box, Holly. But the commotion wakes up a bear from its hibernation.
It's Black Bart.
No, it's not. This is Black Bart.
Okay, Ralphie. You
win this time, but we'll be back!
The not-so-black Bart chases after the teddy bears, and I'm left wondering why they don't just use their inherent cuteness to make the bear fall in love with them and stop chasing them.
Danny! You can't get away! I'm right behind you! Here's Johnny!
Are we even going the right way?
When I compare the island,
Oh god, the Cup Biscuit Rhapsody Street Grandma disease!
when I compare the island.
You just got to it.
They hide from the bear as they make their way back to the cabin, and Holly stops the bear before he can step into that trap from before.
Take that, you big brute!
Now, listen, Mr. Bart. My sister was only trying to help you. Watch!
Why do they have bear traps out in winter?
Because Grandma is one badass motherfucker.
Why, you saved my life.
And like with so many other movies, all the animals talk except for the predators higher up on the food chain because they have to be the ipso facto bad guys. That's speciest. Seriously though, why couldn't Bart here just say, "Dang kids, get off my lawn!" or something? Usually the presence of an angry bear is enough to get anyone running, and then Bart could just go back to sleep. This didn't need to be a big thing.
Nobody wakes the mighty Black Bart.
Please, Mr. Bart. We just wanted to bring Christmas to our family.
Christmas? What's Christmas?
You don't know what Christmas is? Why, I thought that the birds would have told you by now. I mean, that's how every animal knows everything about human civilization. After all, that's how the wolves up in Jasper know about Christmas.
Christmas is the most special day of the year. See, on Christmas, you get the chance to show everyone in your life just how much you love them.
This animation has been pretty decent for the most part, as can be expected from the same production company that brought us The Simpsons and The Critic, but they really goofed up with this shot here. Holly is actually in the background behind Bart, when she should be directly between Flashy and Christopher. Both teddy bears are looking at this tree back here, and Bart seems to be completely focused on Flashy.
Why does that flashlight have a face? And why does he sound like Gil Gunderson?
Take that, you big brute!
Now that Bart is sufficiently touched by the Christmas spirit, he offers to help the teddy bears bring their tree to the cabin.
You'll help us? Really?
I'd be honored, Miss Holly. After all, you saved my life.
Ugh, I know that the bear trap is closed right here, but look at how this is framed. This shot is just begging for Bart to nonchalantly step into that trap.
After all, you saved my...
They get the tree inside just as dawn is about to break, then proceed to decorate it with holly, fruit that they got from somewhere, and fireflies. Fireflies who are all supposed to be dead because it's winter. Or are these the magical undead fireflies that led to the zombie uprising in When Good Ghouls Go Bad? The bears hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same.
Tom, wake up. It's Christmas.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We're stuck out here in the woods.
No, wait, it's not Christmas. It's the nuclear apocalypse! Much to the kids' delight, it really is the best Christmas ever. Okay, so the bears got a tree and decorated it. They fashioned garlands out of branches from other trees, I get that. But where did the presents come from? Of course, the kids think that Santa brought them the presents, but there's no Santa to be found in this movie. Where did they come from? Oh, there are footprints leading up to the front door. Maybe it was Santa? No, wait, it was Jesus. So that was The Bears Who Saved Christmas, and honestly, pretty decent. It's not without its problems, like we never see the family actually make it to Grandma's house, and suddenly I can't help but imagine this sad little old lady who thinks her family just forgot about her. They never address why the flashlight and compass are alive but nothing else is, and the allusion to the presents coming from Santa was a missed opportunity. But on the other hand, the animation is decent enough, the music is catchy, and it's nice seeing these little teddy bears go above and beyond the call of duty to make sure their kids have a Merry Christmas. It honestly feels like this is what Build-A-Bear should have done with their first movie. All in all, this movie can be enjoyed by kids at heart, and teddy bears alike. Merry Christmas in July!
And a rendezvous. Your eyes held a message tender, saying I surrender all my love to you. Midnight brought us sweet romance. I know all my whole life through I'll be remembering you, whatever else I do. Midnight, where the stars and you.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share.